Hey Trekkies, it's summer, and you know what that means. It's time for Creation Entertainment's Trek to Las Vegas 2025. This year, the convention has been expanded to a 5-day schedule, August 6th through the 10th at the Rio Las Vegas Hotel. Meet all your favorite Star Trek pros in one place, and hey, maybe you swing by Vic's Lounge and you see our panel. It's a great way to meet people in person and have some fun with your fellow Trekkies. If you can't make it to Star Trek Las Vegas, of course, there's also other events around the country this year. Trek to Orlando, August 23rd through 24th. There's the Trek to New Jersey, September 6th and 7th. And finally, the Trek to Chicago, November 22nd and 23rd. We're looking forward to meeting as many of you as we can this year. So make sure that you get ready to trek to Las Vegas.
Is this thing on? Hello, hello. Welcome to Open Pike Night, the Strange New Worlds podcast where your personal logs are the prime directive. I'm your host, John T. Bolds, and we are here with episode 13 of our Disco Inferno coverage of Discovery Season 2. Tonight we are talking about the penultimate episode, Such Sweet Sorrow. And of course, I am joined by my co-hosts, as always. First off, the man who you absolutely have to greet anytime he arrives with a bowl of ice cream, Jesse Bailey.
It's true, John, and I'd love to stay and eat this ice cream, but I have to leave before this whole thing starts.
That's probably a good call. And the man who thinks he's just going to take a break after covering all of TNG. He might go to a starbase for a while or the Vulcan Science Academy, Cameron Harrison.
I feel I'm going to rue those words just as much as Stamets does in this episode.
And tonight we are joined by a special guest from Green Shirt, a newbie's trek through TNG, and made in Milwaukee, Oregon. Please welcome Rob Campbell.
I heard there was ice cream. Is there not ice cream?
We all should have brought ice cream today, I know.
Yes.
I just ate a drumstick, so I'm good, I think.
Nice.
We're happy to finally have you on, Rob.
Let me get this. I'm coming in hot. Let me get this out of the way right up here up top.
Well, here, let's reenact how this went down. Cameron going, Rob keeps talking about all the new Star Trek he's watched. Hey, do you want to come talk about Discovery with us,
So
Rob?
I get a text from Cameron. It says, Rob, want to record an episode about Discovery? I just am a man who just says yes to everything. I said yes. I did not reveal at that time that I've never seen Discovery. Never seen
Not a single episode.
I watched the first half of episode 1, and then something happened, and I didn't continue.
Okay.
Not because I didn't like it, but so I didn't. I had watched the first half, but I want to get this out of the way. Cameron, we have a podcast together, and John.
We have, yes.
Green Shirt.
Wait, are you revealing right now that you've never watched any of those episodes of TV?
Yeah, I was just making those up. I read the Cliff Notes on all of those. No, so that was like 2018 I started hosting that, and here's my question. Why didn't you tell me you had another podcast? How come you never mentioned this podcast?
We never mentioned this podcast on that one. You're right. I know. It's definitely been as secret as...
So it's 2018, Cameron. We're like approaching friendship soon. Like soon we'll be like, I'll consider you a friend.
Almost.
Real close, but we'll get there. But I did enjoy this episode of TV, and I did a little tiny bit of little bit of research.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Just enough. Like when I had questions that I was like, just could not get over. Like
sure.
It's not the first time actually that I've Googled why her name is Michael. Like that's one thing I wondered a long time ago.
You never worked with a girl, Michael, before?
I know. I
one?
didn't. Do you?
Oh.
And
Did you find an answer to that other than like that's the name she was given?
Brian Fuller apparently usually assigns a male name to a female character in most of his works.
Huh.
All right.
And that was another thing that I have a list of things I did not know for sure at all, and things that I knew and then forgot, like that Brian Fuller was involved, because I like Hannibal, and I thought that Brian Fuller did something else that I liked, but really Hannibal is the only one that I enjoyed and knew about. I'll tell you what I don't know. I never did figure out what Doug Jones's alien race is, or why,
Okay.
or why they don't exist in any other Trek property that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I had forgotten that this takes place before Strange New Worlds, and that Pike is in it. That was a fun treat because I probably had heard that at some point, but totally did not remember.
Oh wow, okay, that's why we're covering it right now.
Yeah, it's good. I like that. I did know. I know. I don't know the actress's name now for some reason, but that I remember Michael from on like New Girl. She played the prank-loving girlfriend of Winston in that, and I think Walking Dead. I think I remember from that.
Yeah.
Yes. Walking Dead. Yep.
And that's pretty much all I know. Oh, and then I did figure out that there's 2 seasons that take place at one time, and later seasons that take place in a future time.
That is true. That is true. Well, this is either, I don't know, the worst episode for you to come in blind on or the best. Like, it really is just a connecting episode. Nothing really happens in this. And it's all just building up from what happened in the last episode and leading to what happens in the next one.
Well, the only other thing I had to look up was, because I enjoyed this episode, and I had to wonder, why do people seemingly not like this series very much? I've heard some shit talk about this series, and I did a little reading, and people just don't like all the crying or whatever. Well, I'm fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
okay, they cry.
It's emotional, and
until you see 5 episodes in a row of crying.
Yeah.
Well, and it's got, there's no way to talk around it. It has a black female lead character,
right?
And that pisses a lot of people off for some reason. And then there are also a contingent of folks who are like, I want to know the crew. Why is it about just Michael? And it's like, well, there are other characters here. She's the main character for sure. This is Star Trek trying something new. And a thing that we always point out here is like, hey, if Discovery isn't well liked and not popular and doesn't get viewers, you don't get Strange New Worlds and Picard and Prodigy and the upcoming Star Trek shows.
Lower
Like, they
Decks,
don't
yeah.
exist. Yeah, they don't exist without this.
But that doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
I still disagree with that. I think it's good.
But that is not evidence of it being good.
Oh, I see what you're saying, but I still disagree.
Okay.
People were also complaining about some dialogue, and I did note the use of the word snarky twice, which is maybe not the best writing.
Yeah, it's it does try to be a little too zeitgeisty for the time it actually was released. Mm-hmm. Not too much, but also I think the fact that it bugged people was like you saw it very, very plainly in this episode of just how much the crew, how much not just Michael, but everybody was like, yeah, they say I love you all the damn time in this show.
Right.
And I know I saw some people complain like, why are they always saying I love you in Star Trek? Like, okay, man.
Well, I
need a hug.
The fact that she loves every crew member, or he does, whoever gave the speech, like, oh, really, there's not somebody in that room that you don't love quite as much. Like,
right. And then somebody in there should have been, then say all of our names.
Right. What's our...
List our name, just our first names. Yeah. Just go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple lines of dialogue that I bumped on that I was like, this, man, it's could have used a second pass. But overall, I think it's a pretty solid. I don't know, it seemed pretty solid. People were mad about, people on Reddit don't like that Michael is like some sort of god figure, or like everything seems to revolve around Michael being important. Apparently,
she's important a lot, as they kind of talk about in this episode a little bit.
Yeah,
that and so for me. Like, that's not untrue about the series, right? But I feel like the series does a good amount of character work with her to show, like, she is putting herself in these situations, and she's absolutely the kind of person that would say, I'm the only one that can solve this, so I have to try. And it's like, that's not unusual for a Starfleet character, but it is unusual for a Star Trek show to focus mostly on just that character. So I think the newness, the differentness, and, the little nitpicks, I think, are usually what people point to. And those things are all valid. And, but, I mean, how many Star Trek series have you ever watched where you never said to yourself once, like, that dialogue could use a second pass?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Other things I liked about it are I am really attracted to the slickness of the production. I really like.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the actors, and it's like, well, yeah, they're all beautiful.
Yeah, They got me really They really revved me up. No, the sets and the all the production is really. And maybe, maybe I'll get just like maybe when I visited Italy, I was like, oh great, another beautiful building. Maybe after a couple episodes, I'll be, maybe I'll be immune to it. But
my first note was, my God, this is a great opening shot, and this is what Discovery is great at, is like these beauty shots like this. So yeah, maybe not, because even I who cross my arms with parts of the show, can appreciate that part.
The only other three things that I looked up, or that I looked up, that I didn't quite know much about. I know Michelle Yeoh was in this, and I know that she's like some sort of anti-hero. Like I know that, I don't know. Like I think maybe I read somewhere that she does genocide later or something. I don't know. Does a genocide.
Well, I mean, she brings it up in this episode.
Right. I didn't quite know what they're referring to, obviously. I don't know who Leland is and why he has a fleet and why he's fighting them and why his name is Leland, which I don't find it to be a very intimidating name. Oh, no, it's Leland.
No.
And then I don't know why this is another, like I started reading some of the descriptions of episodes later because I was just curious about it. And so like what, they're fighting the sphere here? And then later there's the Emerald Chain and the Burn and the DMA, and we already met the Maquis recently. Like, there's just, why does everything have to have some cool the name?
Well, they're not fighting the sphere, but we will get into that. Cameron?
Actually, you bring up some questions I want to ask you, Rob. Since you're coming in blind, I do have a bit of a quiz to see how much you were able to gather about this show from this single episode. So
Great.
If you don't mind, let's jump in. I think it's just 5 questions.
I'm going to win.
You will, absolutely. We're all going to be winners at the end of this quiz. So one thing about this episode, and we're going to get into it, but it features a Previously On, which contains footage a lot of people who watched the whole series probably never saw, because it was from a short trek, not Discovery. But we'll get into that.
Oh.
But this season also features another notable Previously On. Which of the following reasons is why? A, it was for a time travel episode and featured events that didn't happen until later in the season. B, it was factually inaccurate, showcasing the villain's propaganda for an episode from their point of view. C, contained footage from 50 years prior. Or D, started glitching out halfway, transitioning into a communication Discovery was receiving from Starfleet.
Oh.
Which of those do you think was the notable Previously On that got the internet a buzz?
Oh, boy. But I'm going to have to take just a stab at C.
C, it contained footage shot from over 50 years ago, showcasing the pilot from Star Trek as the events that happened before that were important to the episode we were watching now in Discovery. Yes, it was very cool. We saw old Captain Pike.
Greatest Previously On of all time.
It really
so
is.
Good. Yeah.
It's super cool.
When does this happen?
About halfway through the season.
Okay.
Yeah, it's everything that happened to Pike in the cage, and so he has to go back to the planet and talk to those aliens.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, I mean, and it says previously on Star Trek. That doesn't say Discovery; it's just Star Trek.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. Which 3 of the following, to what you were just talking about, do you think accurately represents who's coming to get them, that they're preparing for? Is it A? So it's 3 of these. You got to pick 3. A, space witches. B, killer AI. C, Section 31, which is Starfleet spies, if you don't know.
Yeah.
D, mutant dinosaurs. E, one of Pike's old friends. Or F, Grimace, the big purple guy from McDonald's.
Of course I know who Grimace is. Come on.
Maybe not all our listeners.
Don't know who Leland is. Okay, I guess you know who Grimace is.
We've got a couple millennial listeners.
Grimace, Mayor McCheese, Big Mac, the constable.
Well, Doug Jones played the Moon guy.
Moon.
Yeah.
Oh, he played Mac Tonight?
He played Mac Tonight. That was his first
Mac
big
Tonight.
role.
Mac Tonight. I did not know that. And that's good. That's fun fact.
Yeah.
It's Pike's old friend.
Yes, Leland.
Read them quickly, real quick.
Space Witches, Killer AI,
Yes.
Section 31,
No.
Mutant Dinosaurs.
Oh, wait. Section 31 is... no, Section 31 is not after them. They're friends with... They're friendly with them right now. AI and witches.
Very
So close. It is actually Section 31.
Oh, well,
Section
I thought
30.
Yo-
The AI took over Section 31.
Okay, I got you. Because
Yeah.
Yo is 31, and then that other beardo that she loves.
That's right.
Kissy face.
Well, he has to stay to try to clean up the mess.
Okay.
know.
Then I would have said 31, except that I thought that since 2 of the 31s were on this bridge, that they were
Space Witches was the acolytes.
They're the good ones, the good kind. Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right. Let's. Which of the following is not true about Ash Tyler, the guy with the big beard, the Section 31 guy? A. He has a secret child who is the same age as he is. B. He dated a queen. C. Jesse hates his guts. D. He secretly transmitted Discovery's position to a Section 31 ship while they were undercover. Or D. He's actually a Klingon wrapped in human skin.
Now I'm trying to guess which one is
Not true. 4 of those are true.
God, it's just, I can't imagine Jesse loving this guy, but
Oh.
I'll give you a hint. That one is true.
Yeah.
I kind of had a
Hates him
feeling.
with a burning passion.
I mean, I've only seen him. I feel like he got like 45 seconds of screen time in this episode. So
He's not in this one a lot.
no, just that kissy scene.
And there's kissing.
And you know
Which you
me,
probably
I
closed your eyes, so it's even less time for you.
Left the room. Because real quick, one more time. A, B. C.
He has a secret child who's the same age he is.
Seems likely. Okay,
He dated a queen.
that seems likely.
He secretly transmitted Discovery's position to Section 31 while he was undercover. He's actually a Klingon wrapped in human skin.
I'm gonna guess A.
He has a secret child who's the same age as he is.
He probably does.
You saw him in the previously on. Yeah.
Right. Then B.
B. He dated a queen.
Did he not? He did not date a queen.
He did date a queen.
C then.
And they had a secret love child.
No,
And that's right. And it was the Klingon queen because he's actually a Klingon who was wrapped in human skin. That's true. So it's not true that he transmitted Discovery's location to Section.
So let me just throw out that season 2 of Discovery significantly somehow less convoluted than season 1 of Discovery, even though there are 14 plot lines happening.
I think it was the wording of wrapped in the skin. Like he didn't.
Well, it's very.
Basically, it's
Yeah, they kind of go multiple ways on what exactly he is, but they just swapped out the organs, but also the memories went with him. I don't know.
I just imagine him like wearing a poncho of human skin when he's wrapped like a pictured like a blanket,
like a burrito.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's why the beard's there to cover up all the extra.
all the seams
around.
are.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, 2 more. Which of the following did not happen in this season of Star Trek Discovery? Tilly got haunted by a ghost. A baby head gets thrown in lava. Burnham tries to kill Saru. Spock is wanted for murder. Or a mushroom trip brings someone back to life.
C.
C. Burnham tries to kill Saru. She did try to kill Saru. Actually, this was a trick question. All those happened this season of Discovery.
I mean, it wasn't an obvious. I knew that the baby head must have happened.
I would
too
never think of
specific.
that myself, right?
Yeah.
But I do want to ask you, which of the crew members do you think died in season 1 and was brought back to life on the Mushroom Road this season?
Tilly.
There were kind of hints this episode.
Red.
Not Tilly, no. It
Okay.
was Stamets's boyfriend,
Colbert.
Dr. Colbert.
Dr. Hugh Culpepper.
Which one is he?
He's the
The
very
one in
good-looking
white, Winston
doctor.
Cruz, the really, really good-looking doctor who they have the awkward
One of the two
conversation
Were those
about
two gay
what's
doctors?
happening after.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
one of them's an engineer, but he could have a doctorate.
That's true.
But it's the gay relationship.
It's
yes.
the gay relationship, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he came back to life.
We'll get to it, but that's where I wrote. Oh, it's one of them woke shows.
Well, yes, that is also a complaint. about
I
this guy.
heard that they are going to go broke if they do that.
Yeah. After 7 years of TV.
I mean, they
Well,
canceled it, right? I mean, it's not on the air anymore, so probably
Right.
that's probably why.
Well, speaking of people who complain about woke, let's talk about distant dads now. What do you think Sarek did that he needs to apologize for in this episode to Spock and Michael?
Oh, you mean Beach Vulcan? I didn't know it was Sarek until till very late. And I just knew him as Beach Vulcan from the first scene.
Beach Vulcan, yeah. All right, so which of these was he apologizing for? Telling too many dad puns, making them smoke a whole pack of Jumja sticks after he caught them having just one. I don't know what Jumja. Do you smoke them? I don't know.
It's a
I haven't
food.
gotten that far into DS9 yet. Okay. Telling them they need to respect the authorities and turning them over to Section 31. Or pulling elaborate, traumatizing pranks on them to teach them simple lessons like, that's why you always leave a note.
This one's C.
Let's see.
Yeah.
He turned them over.
Went easy on me there.
Also, he was kind of just a distant asshole dad, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was surprised to learn that it was Sarek. I was surprised to learn that Spock, like I said, I forgot that Spock and Pike were going to be there, and I was surprised that Spock had a beard.
How long until they said the name Spock until you realized that character was Spock?
I heard him speak, like, as soon as I heard him, like, he might have even spoken off screen or something. Like, early on, there was I heard his voice, and I said, oh, there he is.
Oh, I guess you'd recognize him from Strange New Worlds.
Right.
Yeah.
But with the beard, I mean, yeah, instantly, so. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm excited to hear more of your thoughts on this episode.
It's a Riker beard, so I called him Spocker. I'll give you all my... Since I don't know anybody's name, I will just refer to them as the, like old Blue Eye. That's one of them.
Okay.
The one with the blue eye.
One blue eye?
And the side,
yeah.
And the side shave. She reminds me of the Queen Marjorie from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Kayla Detmer.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's our second favorite pilot after Erica Ortegas. I mean, I don't want to speak for the whole podcast, but she's my second favorite pilot.
Nice.
And she's in love with the Navigator. Oh, whoa. So you have seen Strange New Worlds, so you know that when Amanda is carrying this bowl up to Spock, that bowl has got to be so freaking hot because she doesn't even need gloves for a teapot that's been recently heated, but she's using gloves here. Nice little detail that is technically not connected because it happened earlier, but, that's how my brain works.
I didn't notice this.
We are an Open Pike Night podcast, so that's the type of detail we're looking for.
I mean, we do have to address this episode has more Open Pike Night or has more Strange New Worlds characters in it than any other Discovery episode, I think.
With the possible exception of the next episode, but yes.
Yeah.
Is Amanda in the next episode?
Oh,
I don't
that's
think
a good
so.
point.
There
I don't
we
think
go.
she is.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, like, did you guys believe the first time you saw this, Rob, for you yesterday, that they were gonna destroy the Discovery?
No, because by that point I knew that there was a season 3, and I was like, well, they're not going to destroy the namesake.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I figured it wasn't. Even I figured they wouldn't destroy the titular ship.
Because Michael is really trying to convince us in her log.
Yeah.
This is it. No,
the
for
whole
real.
opening is a little bit of like, hey, remember that thing we set up at the end of last episode? We're going to spend the first 10 minutes telling you why we're not going to do it this episode.
Yeah,
I was trying to figure out
Okay.
which ship they were on and which one they were blowing up. It took me
Yeah.
a second to find my bearings there.
I forgot how big Discovery is.
It's pretty
like,
huge.
you put the Enterprise next to it. It's like,
It's-
oh, god damn, that's right. This ship is huge.
And it's like probably the same amount of living space. It's
Yes,
just
yeah.
wide and flat and
Yeah.
bitchingly cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And doing an unnecessarily little flipperuno around the Enterprise. Detmer's just showing off when she's
Oh,
setting
yeah.
him up for docking.
It's like, look, I can do this within 4 meters. It's fine.
I was surprised by the extending hallway connecting ship connectors. That was a surprising way to get people from one to the other.
Yeah, I'm not stepping foot on one of those. That's the space version of like the rickety jungle bridge. I am not. I am not going
just
on
you're
that.
walking on shield.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's got to be easily a 5-minute walk. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
that's not a 3 steps from between airlocks. Like, you
Yeah.
are out there for a
A
while.
long while. And you mentioned 5 minutes, maybe because that's in your head, because there's a point where they say Section 31 will be here in 5 minutes. We've got to get back on the Discovery and get out of here. The whole montage of them getting off Discovery was 5 minutes. Like, they are not getting back there and getting that thing started back up within 5 minutes. As you say, John, it takes that long to get across the bridge.
Are they not transporting at this point? What
I guess there's
They
too many
were,
people,
but-
maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
did I see any transporting in this episode?
They mentioned it. They said transporters were going to go offline in 3 minutes.
Oh.
So they
Tilly's friend
but-
comes in on a transporter.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so speaking of Tilly's friend, right?
Oh, yeah.
The Queen.
Like,
Yes, let's approach this.
The Queen
Okay,
with
I
the sideways
love-
blinking.
the character, right? Like, I love
Poe.
Poe. She's great. I want to read Poe and Tilly fanfic 100%. But is she the single most Deus Ex Machina character outside of Q, maybe, like, in Star Trek history? Because you there's a good chance you've never met her if you didn't watch every short trek, and then she shows up and is like, I actually have half of the solutions that you're looking for right here.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say that, except for the fact that they address the fact that Pike just has faith in the Deus Ex-Machina of what's going to happen, and
Yeah.
what happens? Another signal shows up. Like, it's going to be a competition for this episode. Who is more?
They
But we
do. I
know
guess they do
Michael.
address it. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've been with her, and we know that she's working on this plan and that she's trying to do this thing. But with Poe, it's like, oh, we just happened to jump to Poe's planet and she has the thing, which again, obviously I know is part of the story structure, but like coming in cold like that, even though they put her in the previously on, I remember the first time I watched this, I hadn't seen the short treks and I was like,
yeah.
Did I seriously miss an entire episode of this season? Like
I had to stop and go back.
Yeah, it really dates this episode and it's like, oh, that's right. This came out when Marvel was at its peak, and they expected people to be okay with having to do homework to enjoy a show.
These short
forward.
treks, I've heard this term short treks. Was this on like CISO? Was this on
No,
Quibi?
it's on Paramount.
Just like Quibi?
Hey, they definitely are Quibbies, but they're on Paramount,
web
and they're actually
shorts?
pretty fucking good.
They're not webisodes?
They are
were
very good.
They were a series that just came out. Yeah.
But they should not be required viewing for this season or even the
Or
series
this series.
finale.
Yeah, this is not the last time they will rely on a short trek to wrap.
How
something
many
up in
short
the
treks
series.
are there roughly?
Like 9?
And they're short?
11?
And they're
10 or 11?
15, 20 minutes?
And
Less than that, I think. But
to your point, they were not originally on Paramount Plus. They were on CBS All Access, which is
Right.
the best streaming service name ever.
Well, it's no CISO. See something, say so.
But I mean, even if you're going to use, like, it would be one thing just to use her, and then, I mean, they kind of, the way they deal with her, they are obviously referencing something. So I think their writing was a little rough there. But it would be one thing to just kind of include her, because Tilly does explain who she is. But to put her in the previously on, as if like you, I had to stop this episode and do some research before I could finish watching the episode.
Probably smart of them to do so that they don't like. Aren't you glad that you saw it in the previously of so that you could go do a little research before you actually watch the episode? Wouldn't you be more thrown by this character you never heard of?
I just use her in a way that it would work either way.
I bet we do have some thoughts on this from one of our callers. So why don't we go ahead and hear from?
Oh, you have callers on this podcast
tonight? Yeah.
Well, you guys never told me anything about this podcast. I could have been calling this whole time, but
we've told you to call.
But you've never told me. I don't have a phone or a television. I don't have a television.
Yeah, let's hear from one of our biggest fans and great patrons. Here is Mark.
Hi, Open Pike Night Engineer Mark here.
I know Mark.
And yes, beginning at the end really does call this episode. I've floated the idea before now that these last episodes are so rushed in making a major turn in the direction of the series, and I fully think we're seeing it here. It gets so very busy. This is a high drama episode. Enterprise is back, and we do this elaborate crew transfer sequence between the two ships, and it's very impressive to see. And even though the difference is very subtle for Una, it's still really jarring for me to see this version from the one we see on Strange New Worlds. I don't quite know why. And then we get the, shiplash. The big plan doesn't work, and they immediately pivot to, we're going to make a bigger sacrifice and take the whole ship to where Mom is. Well, yeah. And everybody saying goodbye is very touching. Well, and the Burnham and Tyler, that whole saying goodbye, it just seemed kind of off somehow. I don't know how to put it. Big rush at the end, I don't know. And then we have Leland and the Unborg and his fleet shows, and ta-da, we get to wait for next week. Okay, on song choice, the closest I can get to something here is No Way Back by the Foo Fighters, as for as much as we can science the hell out of things on Star Trek, this one's still looking like a one-way trip. And that's all for me. Until next time, live long and prosper.
Excellent points all the way through, Engineer Mark. I think the Una thing, if I had to guess, her hair is very different. Like, it's similar, but it's different enough. And that black collar on the Enterprise uniforms does not do her any favors. Like, it really changes the whole shape of her head. And it just... it's almost uncanny valley kind of a thing. Like, did they CGI this Una in here? But I really love the term shiplash. Thank you for that. That was very well done.
Yep.
And as far as the pacing goes, I don't disagree with you at all, but there is something that I have brought up more than once this season, which is Discovery is definitely better if you watch it as a binge rather than like waiting weeks between episodes. And I think the place that's most true is the finale. Like, to me, this episode and the next episode both actually feel like half an episode, which is not always the case with Star Trek two-parters. A lot of times it feels like they wrote a cliffhanger and then scrambled to figure out how to solve that, whereas this is an entire story that they cut in half, like just straight down the middle, which full disclosure, I immediately watched the second part after this, and I was like, well, now I got to watch the first episode of season 3. So, like, I was up too late last night, but I totally hear where you're coming from.
Well, now I get to decide if I want to watch part 2 or start from the beginning of the series. Thank you for putting me in that position. But I think I will begin this series. Like I said, I'm kind of hooked on it. We'll see. But, yeah, part 2, I think I'll probably have to end up watching part 2 so I know what happens. And then go back.
I think that's a good litmus test. Like, if this is where you're coming in and you're like, I would like to know how that resolves, I think that is a good sign.
And it wasn't such a cliffhanger that I had to stay up late, but it was solid enough. It wasn't like, of course I didn't have anybody I was tied to, so I wasn't on the hook for emotionally worrying about anybody.
Yeah.
What do you think, Cameron?
Oh, shit. Cameron ditched us.
It was just, I agree. The uniform, the collars, that's what it is. She's also a little more made up, not Betty Page style, but definitely pinup style more so than she is in they tried to make her look 50s or 60s era, and they don't do that in Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yes, Una. Okay, I forgot her name.
She doesn't even have her. She's not even named Una in this. Like they hadn't even given her name yet. So.
Is she in a significant amount of Discovery, or is this?
She's in a short trek. She's in the first episode of the season.
I felt like when she arrived in this episode that it was maybe not common.
I think this was her second or maybe third appearance.
Cool.
Yeah.
But I could not remember her name from Strange New Worlds because it's been a while since I watched it.
Yeah,
they had not decided on her name.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and hear from another caller then. Here is Katie.
Hey, hi, it's Katie. Why aren't all Discovery episodes like this? They're gearing up for war, and yet I spent so much of this episode laughing. Starting out with how emotional I got at everyone's goodbyes. Gosh, there were just so many goodbyes in this episode, but I'm so very glad that they got the chance to say them. Amanda and Sarek showing up was beautiful and perfect, and the hug with Sarek included, oh my heart. I think I could spend an hour on Georgiou alone, but some specific moments that I loved, her distaste for the orange when she walked onto Enterprise's bridge, better him than me, or you. Aw, look at her care. That moment in the briefing where she goes, I thought there were no bad ideas. And Pike says, that's a lie. And Kat immediately goes, that's a bad one. Oh man, I laughed so hard. And admitting to Pike that she's Terran and his wink. Oh, no, really, I'm pretty sure I could go on for hours about just that moment. Special mentions for Poe and Tilly being just the cutest. By the way, did Poe get off the ship? And for Reno just being a boss all the way through. And finally, just taking a moment to celebrate the fact that Kat was there. Kat was commanding the Enterprise. And Una was piloting. Oh, look, I love Ortegas as much as the next scout, but I really do want to see Una back in that pilot seat. Just, it made me so happy. Anyways, that's all I got. Okay, thanks. Bye.
She's correct. A lot of goodbyes.
Yeah.
I was like, I bet every episode. I was like, I assume every episode is just mostly goodbyes.
Yes, it's a revolving door. No, I am glad that both Katie and Mark brought up the goodbyes because, like, I don't know, are they too earnest for current TV? I don't know. Like, they're not too earnest for me. They really, really work for me, and I think part of it is because we've come to expect high emotion from these characters, and we get it. But here, a lot of them are played in kind of an understated way. Like, Pike saying to Spock, there aren't words. I was like, oh, damn. Like, he is going to miss Spock so much, especially after, spoiler alert, Rob, he spent so much of this season trying to find Spock, and now he has to let go of him again. I love that scene. And then, maybe surprisingly, the one that didn't work as well for me was when Pike says, "Eyes up for Commander Burnham," and then everybody looks at her and she gives her speech. I was like, this is what we expect from Michael's character. I'm not like super torn up about this. But when Pike goes to leave and everybody stands at attention for him, I was like, oh my God, I love Pike so much. Like, please don't leave them behind. They need you.
Yeah.
It would just...
That's got to be one of your questions, right, Rob? It's like, wait a minute. I've seen Strange New Worlds. I know
Spock
who's on Strange New Worlds.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
a little bit of a... I mean, now I'm just... I don't mind a spoiler like that, you know, but because I'm like, well, how do they get to that point? I'm always more
Exactly.
interested in the, like, how is this going to work out? Where Spock...
Honestly, it's been so long since I've seen the next episode, I can't even remember how they get to that point. So,
And the goodbyes are interesting because they're not... It's one thing when they're about, you know, they're going to fly into battle and die or whatever. It's another thing when they're just like going elsewhere. They're going to survive. They're just going to be somewhere else. It's a nice, you know, it's a different kind of a theme, you know.
Yeah.
yeah. I will put the little conference room scene snippet, you know, like proposing genocide and having it shot down so readily, might be the funniest moment in all of Discovery. Like, like the delivery of that little conversation and just how disappointed she looks afterward. Just like, oh, fine.
Yeah, I think it's to me, like, the ensemble there works really well because everybody's playing to their strengths, right? Like,
Yes.
Saru is like, excuse me, what about all these lives? And she's very much like, yes, and like, this would not be her first genocide rodeo, right? And she's fine with everybody knowing that. And then to have both Pike and Cornwell come down on her is like, this is probably why folks were upset that the show wasn't more oriented around an ensemble more frequently, right?
Yeah.
Because you get to have moments like this, and they work really well.
Yeah. As Dr. Ian Malcolm once said, this is the worst idea in a long, sad history of bad ideas. Like, yeah, don't create a supernova. Don't do that. Come on.
I think I remember when I learned about Michelle Yeoh doing a genocide, that some people were like, how are we supposed to forgive her for that? And I don't know if they make that easy, like if that's just something that we just accept. How does the crew and cast, you know, how does the crew just roll on that?
So
I can
that's
find out.
mostly handled in a different season.
Yeah.
So I'll give you that much, but it's like there are people that are never okay with Giorgio, like in the fandom and on the show, right? So I think that they do a good job of like kind of not playing both sides, but like giving you semi-realistic versions of how people would feel about that character.
Yeah.
But yeah, Katie is right. Like, she does not want her mirror daughter to go off to temporal college, and she's like, can't figure out how to voice that without sounding sappy. So she's just like, here are the rules. You cannot leave. Michael's like,
Well, and we get all three of Michael's moms in this episode.
Yep.
I mean, yes, it's only a clip of Gabby, but at least it's a really helpful clip. It was her YouTube tutorial era, apparently.
Yeah.
And
well, when you're the only
hey, what's up,
person left
gang?
in the
I'm here in 900
galaxy,
years in the future. And, yeah.
Like and subscribe. Smash that like button.
I love that her log is like, Michael's like, well, I can learn how to do this from her logs. And then her next log is like, okay, so this is a basic Iron Man systems display combined with a Minority Report tactile interface. It shouldn't be hard for you. Like, and Michael apparently is good enough with that because she leaves in the middle of that tutorial.
Yeah, she doesn't even finish. She's like, oh, okay, whatever.
It's
I was under the
fine.
impression that was the 5th or 6th time she'd watched it. You know.
And it has to have been because her confidence level is quite high.
That's right. Yeah, I didn't realize that, you know, I figured out that Sarek and Sarek's wife
Amanda.
are does this make Burnham and Spock like half siblings?
Yes.
Yes.
I did not realize that. That's interesting.
Well, Michael was adopted.
right. Or whatever siblings that makes them. But yeah, I didn't realize that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's actually, in the first episode of Strange New Worlds, which takes place after the next episode of Discovery, there is a scene where, I think right when they get to the bridge, Pike says, how are you holding up, Spock? And he goes, oh, you know, I'm good. And then I think the phrase is, although I confess each time I return to space, I feel the loss of my sister growing.
Yep. Yep.
And it's like, it's kind of a throwaway line. Like, you don't have to then go back and watch Discovery, but you could. because you're like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, watching Strange New Worlds, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, or at least watch these 2 episodes.
Right.
Yeah.
This and the next one. Because that first episode is heavily based on what happens in the next episode.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole inciting incident for that. Like, hey, we have a warp bomb. We got this. How did they get this technology without developing a warp drive first? Like, oh, yeah, because they see what is about to happen.
The
like, they're close enough
the
that they
spore
actually
drive.
see.
People don't like the spore drive either. That's what I've
Yes. Yeah.
heard. They don't like it.
Spore drive is very contentious.
Well, and I think it's contentious because, I mean, among other things, it's because it feels more advanced than what we get later in Star Trek, right? Like, they don't have a spore drive in TNG.
Right.
They don't have that in Voyager, and that's kind of their whole problem. But kind of what I like, one of the things I like about this episode is that the Queen, Poe, is like the reason that warp drive is better in TNG than it was in TOS, right? She invented the reconstituting of the
Recrystallization,
crystals.
yeah.
And it's like a subtle little thing. Like, if you've seen TNG, you'll go, oh, that's that thing. And if you haven't, you're like, okay, space stuff. That's fine.
Lots of other Trek references in this single episode. Probably more Trek references. Like, they're putting the building blocks in place to be like, okay, here's how we get to Kirk from where Discovery is. The no more holographic communications on the Enterprise, and there never will be. I mean, he might as well have looked at the camera when he said that.
Yeah.
And what Mirror Universe winked, like, okay, so Mirror Universe is not addressed so that Kirk doesn't know about it when he discovers the Mirror Universe in Mirror
Right.
Mirror. They're moving, trying to dovetail as nicely as possible with what people expected, because I think they wanted to try a lot of new stuff with Discovery, but I don't think I don't know why they didn't anticipate the fans being like,
Right.
what about the fact that we know what happens next?
Yeah.
And
I'll say, though,
really-
that I think Discovery does the, like, okay, we'll fix some of your complaints a little more elegantly than, say, I don't know, Star Wars did with its most recent trilogy of movies. Like, Discovery has a much more deft hand. But to your point, John, there are moments where you're like, they're talking to me directly, or they're talking to the audience directly.
Yeah. There was a
And that-
lot of that in this episode.
and there's some in the next episode as well.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a good point. A lot of people were like, why does it look so much better? And I'm like, because that show was made in the 60s and this show was made in
On
the
a
mid
shoestring budget.
2010s. Yeah, like, this show clearly has a shitload of money to throw at production, and they did not back when Desilu was producing it. So
yeah.
relax.
So this is a Star Wars podcast now. Let's just go into the Star Wars problems for a bit.
Oh, man.
I haven't seen Andor. Don't say anything.
I need to
talk
start on season 2 of Andor for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go ahead and hear from Melanie.
Hi guys, this is Melanie, your Einstein Mount and Pike fan. So we're almost at the end of the second season. I admit there were episodes I haven't watched that often. It was fun watching it again with you though. Anyway, seeing how they try to destroy Discovery is brutal in its own way. I'm glad there is another way to fight Control and that the time crystal will find its purpose after all. When we see the Enterprise for the first time, it looks so much smaller than Discovery. Then they go over there and I love the way Pike talks to Michael. And he seems so strong, but it must have hurt him so much to be about to destroy Disco. I just had a thought. Well, maybe Zahir and Poe can help Chris in the future after the accident. I'm still hoping. And isn't it adorable how he stands there and watches Tilly and Poe saying hello? That short track of Poe and Tilly was fun. I love the scene, and I admit I love Poe. I really dig her eyes. Did you see the movement of the pupil? Awesome. So, it's an episode of goodbyes, and Chris is back in the Enterprise uniform. He just looks good in yellow, but the fastening around the neck must have been very uncomfortable.
Thank you.
And before he leaves, he appoints a new captain. There's a funny blooper on there, you know what I mean, when he appoints Octopus Head as captain. Oh, I love how he can't say anything to Spock when he says his goodbyes. Then Georgiou tells him she's Terran. Did you see his reaction? Of course you did. I loved it, and he knew. Talking about a Pike movie, well, guys, that be it. If someone could pull it off, it's the Strange New Worlds cast. So I guess that's it for today. Live long and prosper.
So Melanie brought up the time crystal,
Yeah.
we got a lot of weight put on the time crystal in the last episode. In this episode, people are just seeing the future all over the damn place.
Yeah, I did kind of. When I learned of a time crystal, I did roll my eyes a little bit. I'm like, oh no.
Thank you, Rob.
No.
Time crystal.
Rob, let me ask you a question. If they had called it a flux capacitor, would you have a problem with it? You know what I mean?
Yes, because they'd be stealing from Back to the Future.
My point, Cameron, is that it's the same thing. Like,
my issue was less about it being called a time crystal and more about like, oh no. I know that time travel is huge in Star Trek, obviously, but it is not always my favorite thing about Star Trek. I did think it was funny when the first time she touches the crystal, and I wrote down, "Oh no, now Sauron knows where you are." I thought, yeah.
I was wondering why the time crystals always, they show you the most dramatic thing in your life. They never show you, like, you sitting on the toilet reading the newspaper or something.
Right.
Like that part of your future.
well, they might, and we just don't see it in the edit.
Right.
They're actually there for, like, their entire life watching this. Yeah. They're just showing us the good bits.
It's mostly that.
It's mostly just times you were, masturbating, let's say it. It's just like a montage of that. Like, oh no, just got to watch myself in my darkest hours.
I used to, I used to be like, I wonder if I jumped forward exactly 20 years from now, like, what would I be looking at? What would I see? Just kind of wondering what my life would be like in the future. And I'm realizing I'm kind of at the age about 20 years from when I started asking myself those questions and wondering what younger me would have thought looking at just random things like, this is my backyard, me. What do you think?
Or like, here's me on a series of remote video calls talking about a TV show that I finally watched.
This is called a podcast.
What? Huh?
They were just invented in your time. Yeah.
Who are these little people interrupting
Start doing them now when you're 20. Yeah.
Right.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine how much money you would have?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we got another mention from Melanie of the goodbyes, and I still think the crew saying goodbye to Pike was the most effective one for me. But the goodbye between Burnham, Amanda, and Sarek, I think was really good because Sarek's eyes are full of tears. Like, he doesn't drop any tears down his face, but his eyes are definitely wet. And that's as emotional as he will get until TNG. Like, that's more emotion than he ever has in TOS or any of the movies, except maybe Search for Spock, you could probably argue for. But yeah. I think this is a great moment for them, and I think it's one of the strengths of James Frain, who's playing Sarek. Like, he can do muted emotion without it coming across as robotic.
I think it's a great scene.
Yeah. And as we've said before, it's so nice that they said, you know what? We're going to go with Amanda for Strange New Worlds. Sarek's there, but Sarek has had his time in the spotlight. Let's focus on Mom for a little while.
Agree.
Yeah.
Melanie also mentioned Georgiou's goodbye to Pike, and I bumped on. Does Pike know? Like, it was a weird moment, I thought.
Yeah, he winked.
Yeah,
she
said,
told him,
okay.
I'm from the Mirror
What
Universe.
Mirror Universe and winked, which we were just talking about a little while ago, is a wink to the audience, like, yes, we're not mentioning the Mirror Universe to anybody else, including James T. Kirk, so that when Mirror Mirror happens, he can be surprised.
Okay, yes, I was gone for 20 minutes looking for a kitten, so I may repeat some notes.
Where
and
was
then
it?
the other goodbye.
We haven't found it yet.
Oh, no.
But no one, everyone else stopped looking. I was like, well, I'm not going to be the only one looking. I'm sure it's sleeping in a corner. That's what kittens do.
It's not my kitten. We have had a couple people mention the Tyler and Michael goodbye, which, yes, was terrible because Tyler got kissed, and we never want to see that. But
It wasn't a terrible kiss, though.
I think what
besides
we
the beard.
could have done to improve that scene is after she breaks off from the kiss, Michael looks Tyler dead in the eye, and she says, my next boyfriend is going to be 1,000 years better than you were.
I'm so sorry. Can we go? How does Pike know about the Terrans in the Mirror Universe? Am I forgetting a moment from this season?
Because he took over from Lorca. So he got briefed on Lorca.
So he read everything. Oh, okay, yeah,
I'm pretty sure,
So he
yeah.
knew he was okay.
Yeah.
So he got that classified information.
As far as I know, yeah.
Okay.
Because he got
It
called in to
was a
clean up.
weird moment.
He got called
I
in to
don't
clean
know.
up the mess. Don't spoil it for Rob, Kim.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, he got called in to clean up the mess after Lorca, and I'm pretty sure it was like, okay, so that's a thing. Got it. And not heavily focused on.
Okay, maybe, yeah. All right.
That was probably the most confusing part for me. I mean, I was like, oh, well, something's happening here that I'm sure this is important.
I still think it was kind of a weird, because she like says it with such snark and like Giorgio, why do you care? Like, you don't know he knows or not. I don't know. It
Cameron,
shoehorned in for me.
Shining people on is 40% of Giorgio's personality.
But she's good at it, and that wasn't a good moment. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so the goodbyes. Have we talked about the crew choosing to stay?
No. Not really. We talked about the goodbyes happening, but I don't think we talked
yeah.
about them saying, no, we're not leaving.
I really like this episode. I remembered liking the end of this season, despite some bumps along the way. And this episode, I'm like, oh yeah, this was right. It feels like we're getting up to something. It feels like we're setting up for something good. Lots of good emotional stuff. I don't know why the crew stays. The whole time I was watching, when Michael's like, hey, oh boy, I get to self-sacrifice again. This is awesome. And I was like, oh yeah, but then I know that the crew has to stay. So something must happen in the battle where they need to man the Discovery. Nope. They all just decide to sacrifice themselves.
Scooby-Doo.
It's almost as if some of this cast had contracts for another season and some didn't.
I mean, I'll tell you my excuse for it, not knowing anything is just that, like, I can imagine this. They all love each other. We know this because I heard them say it. That
they say it.
This is their family. I imagine maybe they don't have much else going on outside of this. So this is the people they miss the most. So they all want to stick together.
But then they proceed to show them all
a whole
calling their
montage.
families.
A great, beautiful montage of them doing that.
I don't know.
And the one person who doesn't have anything going on, who is legally dead because of all of his clandestine stuff, the one with no reason to stay and every reason to go, obviously didn't have a contract for another season because Ash Tyler decides to stay.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what? Why are you running into his arms, Michael? He's the one person you should expect to come with you, and he's like, I got some stuff to clean up here.
Well, don't tell my brother this, but if it came down to like, oh, I can either go away with the 13 people I love the most, or stick around with my brother.
Sure. It just felt like they got the contracts at the end and were like, okay, so we need these people to stay. We'll just say they stay.
I would say that Michael has history with all of these people, like life-saving level history with 90% of these people.
2 years, sure.
So, right, but like, how much time is needed if this person has also repeatedly saved your life? Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it fits.
But there is... Okay, we're going to come keep you company, Michael. Like, what are they doing it for? They don't need to. Her mom is there. Her and her mom are going to figure out how to come back in time. They know that. They know that's what would happen otherwise. The
actual answer is in the next episode.
Maybe. I mean, I just wanted to see with Saru being like, look, yes, this plan might work, but if I stay, it has a 5% more chance of working. And then someone else steps forward and Saru's like, 8% chance. And then someone else steps forward. 11% chance. That I could buy. That would be great.
Here's a question. If the TNG crew were in a similar situation and say Data was like, I am the logical choice to go into the future by myself to save all of you. Do you really believe that none of the rest of the crew would say, you know what, Data, we're going with you?
That's Time Zero. You just described Time Zero, except you said future instead of past.
I don't know why Cameron just won't accept my answer that the crew is better than their families.
Well, and the crew is a kind of a family.
Under the impression, you're under the impression, Cameron, that they have some huge amount of people back home that they need to that they care about. But what if they don't?
Stamets just talked about he wants to get off the ship. Everyone's talking about the things they plan to do. I don't know. Again, if it helps the mission, I buy it. If it's just to keep Michael company, if it's just to keep one person company, I don't know.
It does help the mission because she explains the plan, and it's kind of like, to your point,
they
it might be
say that.
It
they
might
don't
be
say
unsaid.
That helps the mission,
right?
They should say it.
Yeah,
I thought you wanted to be shown and not told.
That's fine.
Also, they should show Michael calling Cybok in that montage and being like, "Nobody ever liked you. Eat a dick." And it's like she's said goodbye to every other member of her family except Cybok. Like, harsh, man. Harsh.
Even Spock at least doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I buy that she doesn't know him. She's probably never lived with him.
Yeah.
This
probably
does lead me to a question that I put in my notes for you guys, though. All right, boys, we're going to the future. You have time to record one personal message. Who are you sending it to?
You, Jesse. Oh.
I knew it.
My wife?
Why is that a question? Why did you say that with a question mark?
Well, I mean, like, if it's now, then I'm probably not going to send it
Because
to my
his
kids.
mom listens to this podcast too.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, who's most likely to listen to this podcast?
Now,
right now? Engineer Mark. I'm sending it to Engineer Mark.
I didn't say you could only address one person, but you can
Right.
only send this to one person.
Okay, so my wife with messages to my kids. Sure, yeah.
Yeah. John.
Sorry, Mom.
Ooh. This is an unfair question.
That's what makes it good.
Well, the answer's obvious. You record them at like
Cameron
Cameron.
said,
You
yeah.
record yourself, and then you send it to Cameron and have him publish it as a podcast.
Right.
There you go.
That's right.
You have a message for everybody, for the world, and then you have Cameron upload it.
No,
You'll get
Send
at
it to my
least
girlfriend.
150 listeners to that message.
Well, well, hopefully word will get back to the 5 people that I talk about in that message.
yeah, I'll send it to my girlfriend, but I'll probably just end up talking about the dogs for a few minutes. And it's like in the future.
I think I would send it to my child and like speak to her about the rest of the people that I care about, right? And then like tie it all back to her at the end, because you're right. Like if it's only one person, you're screwed, because like whoever you don't pick is going to be like, really? You went to the future and you didn't even say goodbye? You didn't even leave a note?
Your daughter's going to be playing on her iPad. There's going to be a little notification that pops up in front of her game saying, Daddy, and she's going to hit that trash can and be like, nope,
Yep.
sorry, I got to navigate Bluey to her bedroom.
Yep. The Bluey the video game is a really good video game.
Wait, Bluey's a
also.
girl?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're both girls.
Oh, okay.
Bluey and Bingo, yeah.
Fine, I'll send it to my son. Great. Okay.
Good.
Fine.
Well, you know who I would also like to hear a personal message from, John? One of our open Pike Night callers.
Well, here we go. Here's another great fan and supporter. Here is Steve.
The android at the bar told me you could show me my ship, the Enterprise. There have been 5 ships with that designation. Please specify. Enterprise 1701. No bloody A, B, C, or D. Oh, what fresh hell is this?
Did you do the door sounds?
That may have been Scotty's reaction if he had stepped on to this version of the Enterprise's bridge, but it was not mine, and hopefully not our collective reaction, because that bridge looks beautiful, and I'm glad we got to see it. I'm pretty sure how it looked, aside from how Anson Mount looks and how Rebecca Romaine looks, that was part of the reason why the Strange New Worlds that we have come to know and love so much was greenlit. This entire season has been the reason why Strange New Worlds was greenlit, but we got to give some credit to the set designers of this particular bridge, because that's why we have the show that we love, and that's why we have this podcast that we love, because if that didn't exist, we wouldn't have the boys talking about it every week and allowing us to call in. Oh no, I'm running out of time. Such sweet sorrow that I'm running out of time to talk about it. Oh, there's part 2. Stay tuned for part 2.
Thank you, Steve. And I have to say, like, we keep hearing repeatedly that there were no plans for a Pike-centered, Enterprise-based series during this show while it was airing. It took a massive campaign from fans to get it. And, like, how short-sighted is that? Like, he's right. This bridge is gorgeous. Like, it is so well done as far as looking retro but updated for modern sensibilities. It's clean, the lines are perfect, like all the consoles are beautiful. It's a good mix of analog and digital. Like, this is an amazing set, and I can't believe that in their heads they were like, yeah, we'll use it for 3 episodes, that's enough, that's fine.
Tear it down, yeah.
Yeah, what are you doing?
We've got to get some set designers on Open Pike Night. We got to talk to some of
We
them.
do. We'll have to ask somebody.
Yeah.
So the other thing I wanted to mention is I noticed that I get invited on a podcast shortly after, like you said your Frakes interview, and I'm glad that allowed you the confidence to invite me on.
That's the ladder. That's right.
Yep.
The last time this happened was my friend John's horror movie podcast where they talked to Patton Oswalt and Jordan
Oswalt,
Bloom,
yeah.
and then a couple episodes later I got to talk about Texas Chainsaw.
Only one man can outdo them.
That's right.
It's It's funny you should say that, Rob, because we're trying to get Patton Oswalt, who is in season 3 of Strange New Worlds.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Being a Strange New Worlds podcast, it was like coming home, getting onto the Enterprise. It was very nice getting on there. It does look different. Is it just the lighting? Did they change the colors? Because at first I was like, orange. It's not orange, is it? And then I had to pull up images. I was like, oh, I guess it is orange, but the lighting's different.
I feel like the lighting is different, and I think the color is more muted in Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, it's not as bright.
Yeah.
It didn't pop as much as in here.
Right.
Well, like in the hallways in this, or
someone
like...
made a comment in this episode, right? So is that why they're like, shit? Maybe we do need to tone down the orange.
Right.
People are starting to comment.
Also, obviously, 80% of this bridge is going to be covered in blood of all the crew members on it who die during the next battle, because besides Una, there's nobody that we recognize on the bridge. So,
Yeah, I know.
The bullet catchers manning the rest of the bridge are there, just ready. Yeah. They're going to have to do some cleaning up.
It does lead me to wonder if there'd be total outrage if they did reshoot like a shot-by-shot remake of a TOS episode in this new, in the new look. If that would just like it'd be a fun experiment.
Did you like the season finale of season 1 of Strange New Worlds, Rob?
Yes,
because that's what that was essentially. Like, if you go back to TOS and watch Balance of Terror, it's the same episode, except Pike is not in the TOS version.
Oh, yeah.
What if Pike had kept the command? Yeah.
Interesting.
Speaking of Pike, I do like when, the whole crew does stay for whatever reason, decides to stay with Michael, and then she goes up to the bridge, and she's like, so are you staying too, Captain? He's like, oh, fuck no.
Yeah.
Or, I'm staying here in time, not with you, though. Yeah. I'm going back over to the Enterprise. I've got a whole show to get to.
I'm going to the cool ship, but thank you for asking.
And then I think you guys had already talked about the goodbye with him, which was very moving. I agree, when they all stood and said, their silence, thank yous to Captain Pike. And God, if someone had just ripped a fart during that moment. I'm not one to enjoy fart humor, but that would have been a moment.
Bullshit.
Just Linus over there is like,
he's always got body stuff going on.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Well, and John, speaking of killing everybody on the bridge, like, I know this is jumping backward a little bit, but is this the first time we've seen everyone in the main crew of a Star Trek show killed before the opening credits? Like,
when Michael's time tripping?
Yeah.
That was intense. Owo, I gotta say, she gives some really good dead head.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
face. Dead face. Let's say dead. Yeah. That sounds better. But no, I was like, wow, was that wasn't a double or just a dummy. That was an actor. And it looked intense.
They were like, well, just in case we get canceled after season 2, let's really end it.
Let's just cut back to this. Yeah.
I'd like to mention, I'm looking at my notes a little bit, and I had kind of forgotten for a moment that Tig Notaro is in this series, and I love Tig, and I could use more Tig. She came in this episode a little bit late and had a couple good scenes. I could always use more
every
Tig.
episode without her, we're like, we wish she had been in this episode. Where's Tig?
Yeah. Big Tig fan. I'm a Tig head.
It's fun to watch interviews with her about Star Trek. They'll be like, so you're this about your character? She's like, I don't know. I was there for 2 days 4 years ago. I don't know.
I did not read my backstory.
Yeah.
Not savvy about this is not the kind of show she would watch or understand.
No, yeah.
Right.
Which is kind of cool because she still turns in an amazing performance every time she's on screen. Like, for her to just tell the crew, like, I can handle temporal madness and unbridled radiation leaks. Don't worry about it. And they all believably believe her is like, wow. Like, that takes some skill to pull that off. Like, this character...
Does that come back next episode?
What do you mean?
I think so. Yeah.
Because they make a big deal. Like, okay, she's going to be the one who sees the future. Yeah.
Oh, well, to your point...
Or was it just to show her as a badass?
I think it was mostly that. But to your point, like, three people have now touched the same time crystal and have been only shown trauma.
Yeah.
I do think, I think it's great. The casting of her is great. I think it's really funny. Having followed her stand-up career for many years, to have her in this, I thought it was really funny and oddly effective when she was replaced Chris D'Elia in that zombie movie.
Yeah.
They reshot that Zack Snyder. What was it?
Zack Snyder.
Yeah, Zack Snyder.
Whatever that name of that dumb zombie heist
Army of the
movie.
Dead,
She was
I
the
think.
best part of
Yeah.
it too.
Right. It's funny.
Which is
that-
funny because wasn't she entirely shot green screen and
Yes,
didn't actually
pretty
work
much.
with anybody else?
Are you telling me all three of you watched that movie?
Mostly
No.
because, I mean,
I just
yeah.
read trivia
Oh,
about
okay.
it because of the Chris D'Elia
I
thing.
did.
I wanted to see Tig, and also I don't think it's an awful idea. I like a heist movie quite a bit. I love a heist
Yeah,
movie.
zombie heist movie. I'm there for it.
It's a great. I mean that
Oh, I
the
didn't
elevator
realize it was
pitch.
a heist movie. Okay.
It was
The
also
elevator
like,
pitch there is like that's got me. But
yeah,
it's really
100%.
really
And, I
poorly
mean,
done.
it was at the height of COVID, so there wasn't much else to watch.
Right.
Gotcha.
Besides Tiger King. Yeah.
And I didn't watch that.
Well, let's go ahead and hear from another caller. Here is Mishi.
Hi guys, this is Michi and here are my thoughts. First of all, the Enterprise is back. I love the ship and Pike is finally back where he belongs, on his ship in his golden uniform. Ensign was so good in this episode again. That scene in the transporter room with Tilly was so funny and his look said it all. And it also showed again what a great captain he is, remembering Poe's name right away, a born diplomat. I loved JoJo's first reaction to the Enterprise bridge. She is such a great character, and her look of innocence after her idea to create a supernova was rejected was so funny. And Michael, she had a strange interpretation of the word immediately. I don't think when Pike asked her to come to the bridge immediately that he meant for her to take her time to talk to all of her friends and then make out with her ex-boyfriend on the way. But hey, what do I know? And of course Michael couldn't resist the temptation of touching the time crystal, but that's so fitting for a character, I think. So finally, one question for you guys. Would you touch a time crystal if you had a chance to do so? Have a great day. Bye.
Hell no.
Not that time crystal, because we know that's just going to show like the most dramatic, traumatic
Right.
moments of your future. But a
it's a-
general time crystal, maybe.
It's a good
We've
question.
seen Pike use a time crystal to actually travel and like project through time. Yeah, I would touch one.
I would
Absolutely.
touch it if I was putting it in my glove with the other 5 crystals that I've collected. Is it 5? Is it 6 total on the Infinity Gauntlet?
5. I think.
Okay,
yeah.
the
Or
other
is there
4.
one in the middle? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, anyway,
The thumb
I
doesn't
couldn't.
have one, I don't think.
I couldn't remember which. I couldn't pull any other crystals from Avengers, but whatever.
Well, I'm pretty sure the time stone is the green one. So
Yeah.
Well, I like that there's a lot of scenes of Pike telling people to get places and being like, well, we can walk and talk. And especially at the beginning, like the whole ship is free. And he goes and finds Michael in her room or the ready room, wherever she's at. I don't know. It just felt like me getting everyone ready for a road trip or even just school in the morning and going up to my room and be like, kid, why are you not yet dressed? And you're playing on your game and you're asking me questions about like random YouTubers. Look, we'll walk and talk. Come on, get moving.
Yeah.
Come on. I definitely related with Space Dad in that moment.
The difference there, though, is that you don't have the answers to the YouTuber questions, and you're not going to actually give them on the walk and talk. You're just going to do more deflecting, right?
Well, maybe, yes. I won't get into the questions.
But
many
it's a
questions
good-
from a 10-year-old.
It's a good point from Mishi because it's like a forbidden fruit allegory almost, right? Like, would you, knowing that if you touch this, what you see will happen, would you do it? Like, because it is incredibly tempting. Like, it works on your human curiosity, and it, is a little scary at the same time. I don't know if I have an actual answer. Like,
just
I
a
might
scene
do
where
it.
somebody's carrying it like trips and somebody else catches it and like, oh, and they just start hot potatoing it around and all getting traumatized.
Yeah, at the
in
end
a matter
it
of like 10 seconds. Like,
Cuts back and there's tears streaming from everybody's face. Somebody walks in like Troy on Community and everything's on fire. They're like, what is happening? But
I was like, when was Deanna Troy on Community?
I think no, Troy of Troy and Abed in the morning, Cameron.
It's a dangerous name to say on a Star Trek podcast.
I mean, it's fair, but we don't watch TNG here. That's not what we're about.
Like when Bobby was trying to reference the biblical Genesis, and we're like, you can't use that word in Star Trek.
That was good. I did really like you guys' coverage of Star Trek Nemesis. More than I expected to. Probably more than I like the movie itself. But, I like that question, and I think the answer for me would probably eventually be yes, because I'd be like, dude, I talk about time crystals all the time on my podcast. It's kind of my thing. Like, if I don't take this opportunity,
You got to commit to the bit.
Yeah, it's a huge loss for the brand. Like, I got to go for it.
But wait, what we see here isn't going to take place, right? I mean, this is not a time crystal that's the future's not written, right? We're not going to see all these people die, or are we? I don't know.
It's
seems inaccurate.
We don't see
want
the
to
people die.
spoil
We see the
anything.
torpedo in the hole.
yeah.
I thought we'd see people die.
Okay, so let's put it this way.
I hear the cat. They must have found the kitten. Just so everyone can be
Yes.
relaxed.
Yeah.
The time crystal can show you a future, which we know and you know because you saw Pike use it in Strange New Worlds to view an alternate timeline.
It's
right?
funny that I never questioned that while watching Strange New Worlds. That I'm like, I don't know where this is coming from. I assume I didn't. I just kind of like assumed it was like some TOS bullshit. You know, like
Yeah.
I knew that Pike was in a, whatever.
Right.
Anyway.
Right.
That's another reason it works for me. Like the idea of having a thing called a time crystal that functions as a time crystal is because like that's TOS level camp, and I'm fine with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, one of the time travel questions I enjoy about this is, right, so they're seeing all the red signals. Now, I don't know how much Rob picked up. The red signals are Michael traveling to all these places to lead them to where they need to be to solve the problem, which means at some point, like, she had to learn to go to those places. So in some timeline, in many timelines, this did not work out, and she kind of had to figure out. So at some point, Tilly had to be like, oh, you know what? I just thought of, I have a friend, Poe. She could have helped us out here. When you go back in time, could you make sure we go and lead her to her? Because I bet
Pretty much.
she'd
Yeah.
help. Yeah.
Yeah.
There will
that
be-
moment happened at some point in some timeline.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about time travel a lot in all of our podcasts, and this is the Bill and Ted version. I'm okay with it in Bill and Ted, where they're like, "Oh, don't forget to put a garbage can that falls on death or whatever." Like that's fine as a joke. It's kind of another thing when it's serious. It's kind of it's a little tricky for me.
Well, so this will all be resolved in the next episode, but slight spoiler peek, we are going to have to talk about working paradoxes and time loops in the next episode.
I do remember that, yeah.
Yeah. This will all be wrapped up by the end of next episode. Let's say that.
Yeah.
I don't know if everything gets resolved, but it gets ended.
Oh, and Michi mentioned that JoJo scene with the no bad ideas. No, that was a bad idea. Great scene. Loved it. JoJo does so much in this series. Like, just Michael being so happy, so eager to sacrifice herself for the universe works because JoJo calls her out on it at one point.
And it just adds to my like painful real disappointment with the Section 31 movie. Like,
oh my God.
You had gold plated latinum and you threw it in the trash. Like, come on.
Now I just want to watch Bill and Ted.
Well, instead of doing that, let's hear from another caller. Here is Abby.
Station.
Hey, Open Pike. It's Abby Summer from the First Flight Podcast, here to talk to you about Such Sweet Sorrow Part 1. This is definitely worth splitting into the 2 episodes. I know they weren't supposed to originally, but when you look at both parts, an hour and 45, absolutely we needed this in 2 parts. And I remember the week when this ended going, wait, what? I have to wait a whole week to find out the rest of this? But this episode stands on its own. It pulls together a whole bunch of threads. It lets us see all the breadcrumbs they've been dropping throughout the season and how they come together. It really works well. It also really amps up the tension and shows these relationships. I like Ash and Michael's moment of saying goodbye. It's very real and it's very honest, and I think he was a good first boyfriend for her. There's a whole podcast episode on that, but he opened up parts of her that we see later on come to fruition and makes her ready for what comes next in this jump to the future, which is awesome. I love when everybody gives Pike the respect that he deserves as he walks off the Discovery Bridge. Chef's kiss, and also absolutely a chef's kiss when Tilly brings Michael over and they see all the people that are going to go with her to the future. And that's our crew. That's our family. That's our heart. And I love that Saru cuts off her speech. Like, that's just perfect. And only something that someone who knows you and loves you that well could actually do. So what a setup. The battle's coming next, and I can't wait. Hope this finds you and yours well.
I do want to say, though I didn't buy all the stakes for them staying, like, emotionally the scene works. Like, the actors pull it off for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm reminded now every time I hear somebody refer to Michael, my biggest sticking point is that I've known probably 30 Michaels in my life. Not one of them didn't go by Mike.
Were any of them women, though?
No, but I think
raised by Vulcans.
I think that every Michael is a Mike. I don't think there's any way around it.
It's interesting, Rob, because from season 3 onward, she goes by Big Mikey B, and it's kind of a tonal shift, but it really works.
I'm down for that. I'm down.
I don't know. Mike Jackson, Mike Jordan doesn't.
Oh, okay, you're right. There are
Mike
two
B.
good
Jordan.
examples.
Yeah, when you get big enough,
when you have a last
name,
name,
longer name,
when you got a last name attached.
Yeah.
But we've talked a lot about the relationships in this episode and how they work and how they lend weight to everything. I would please like to talk about Hugh and Paul, because Stamets and Culber, I think, are one of my favorite ships in Discovery. Obviously, Saru and Tarina are probably at the top of the pile.
Right.
You know, like I'm not going to pretend they're not. But I really like their relationship because it is not simple. Nothing about Paul and Hugh is oversimplified. It's always complicated. It's always messy. It feels realistic. And you have the emotional stakes here. Like, you feel like they're about to have this moment where they're like, no, wait, I love you. No, wait, I love you. You know what? You're right. Let's get back together. And instead, it's Paul saying like, hey, look, you asked me to move on. I'm moving on because I think that's what you want. So here you go. I'm moving on. And then the answer that he gets from Hugh is like, oh, good. Thanks for doing that. Okay, bye. And it's like,
yeah,
no, like, make them happy again. What are you doing to me? But it's realistic. It's well done. You know, it's a good interpersonal relationship in a sci-fi show about traveling through space on mushrooms.
Yeah. It's like when you're a kid and you got a crush on someone. You're like, so I hear you have a crush on me. No, I don't have a crush on you. Oh, good, because I don't have a crush on you either.
Yeah. And then one of them was like,
guys.
I've got tardigrade DNA. And the other was like, I got resurrected by mushrooms from
Every
the dead.
time.
So you know what? Stuff's complicated, okay?
Actually, there was one time when I told the girl, actually, I'm going to go spend some time on the Enterprise. Sorry. That one checked out. That is true.
And it's fair that she never spoke to you again. Completely
I
understandable.
agree. Yeah, no. Mhm.
Which episode does the whole crew get the woke mind virus where this when does that happen?
That was Chekhov's woke mind virus for all of you. Rob
That was the
set it up
episode
at the
with Rainn
beginning.
Wilson
right.
in it, Rob.
Yeah.
Also, I think that actually does happen.
Yeah. Ash Tyler. Rooms
Yeah.
with Rainn
I don't
Wilson.
know why. There's just no way. I don't know why I wrote this. I just have space gay. We don't see a lot of. It's not,
Gays
you
in
know,
space.
Gays in space. You don't see that very often. It's it's definitely unique.
Yeah.
It might be a first.
It
For
is.
Star Trek.
Star
It's
Trek.
the first for Star Trek. And when Bobby Blue was here way before you, she actually mentioned it. And she talked about how she appreciates that Discovery actually was willing to just say the word gay on screen and not
and
have
bisexual, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and pansexual. But like to
Pansexual,
not treat it like it was, you know, let's pat ourselves on the back. It was like, this is real life. This is how real life would play out. And interesting to hear that they use the term transgendered in Nemesis. Like, I completely forgot that because I don't rewatch that movie
But
frequently.
only invited transgender.
Right. None of the
Still.
excluded transgenders.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and hear from our last caller of the evening. Here is Platty.
Hey, Open Pike Night. This is Platty M3 calling in with my hits, shits, and giggles. All right, hits. We did it, gentlemen. We made it. This is the most important episode of Discovery like ever. What an amazing story. Hooked the entire time. Couldn't wait for what was coming next. And like, the whole Astrid Tyler saying goodbye. That was, what a story. I love it. Never have to see that fool again. Finally, it's what Discovery's all about. Kicking his ass off. So
Yes.
also love the Vulcan Katra-based galactic positioning system, or, KGPS. It works really great for finding people when you need to. And, all that ship porn with shots of the Enterprise, both inside and out. Lovely episode.
Yes.
All right, shits. I guess there are bad ideas around tables, like Philippa wanting to start a supernova. Yeah, shit idea. And why can't Discovery just jump like far, far away from everybody? Like, just go jump to the Delta Quadrant for a few hours. Jump to the edge of the galaxy or something. Just get away. Ash Tyler was kissing. Ugh, shit. And hey, speaking of shit, Control and its tactical ability. I see where it needs this fear data because it's dumb as shit. Hey, there's 2 ships. Let's just ring around them because, it's 3D space, but you can only control
Everybody
2D
fire,
stuff. Control, dummy. And giggles. I loved the Queen and the law about not having any snark. Loved pretty much everything about Tilly's friend, the Queen. And it's nice to know that she has non-imaginary friends as well.
Great points, Bloody. Yeah.
And you know me, I'm a pedant. The whole 2D space battle thing gets fixed in the next episode. Don't worry. I'm sure Platty already knows that, but they do show in the next episode, hey, that's not what we're setting up here. It just looks that way. So I appreciate that. But yeah, the Sarek and Michael Katra, the KGPS, I believe you called it, was shown in season 1 as well. So I'm appreciating that in a season full of what could be argued to be Deus-Ex-Machinas, we didn't get another one here. This is something that was briefly already established, so we don't have to worry about that.
Although how they got there before the Enterprise or Section
real
31,
fast, yeah.
I wrote this down, Cameron. The answer is the planet Vulcan is much closer to the planet Zahia than wherever they came from. That's the only explanation.
Right.
Because they get there in a shuttle before a series of ships get there at warp. And we do see the shuttle warp away, so the shuttle has warp capability.
He gets the first GPS ping when they're at their original location. So that means in the shuttle, they had to change course, or at least on their way to the shuttle, to the new location.
Am I the only one who wants to watch a couple episodes of Amanda and Sarek going somewhere very far away in a shuttle together? Yeah, I'm here for that. I think it would work. She's obviously driving and he's backseat driving, right? Or back Spock driving.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to apologize to him? I don't know, honey. I'm still weighing the logical pros and cons of that.
Are you listening to a podcast, Sarek? No, I'm meditating. Yeah, sure. Sure you are.
It's Open Pike Night.
It's Open Pike Night, yeah. I mean, what else would he listen to? It's the only logical choice.
I assume that Sarek, you guys are talking about Sarek, and the only Sarek I'm really familiar with is TNG's Sarek, which, if you listen to that episode of our podcast, it didn't do it for me, I don't think. So it's funny to hear that he's that you want a whole series of him in a road trip, because my only knowledge of Sarek is, the episode Sarek from TNG.
Oh, really? Have you not seen the TOS movies, Rob?
Not recently enough, so long ago that I don't really remember Sarek being involved.
Yeah, unless you've seen him recently. I mean, you might remember he's in them, but not really.
Well, he's in them, and he's in TOS. That dude has been playing Sarek for a long freaking time.
Long time.
Yeah, well, that came up a lot in our Green Shirt episode, where I didn't. It would have been better had I known background on Sarek at the time. And
do you like this Sarek actor better? Do you like this performance better?
Yeah, I liked this. This actor did a good job for sure.
Speaking of actors who do good jobs and memorable characters, who was your favorite character based on this episode? Who would you want to watch more of?
Ooh, yeah.
Tig was great.
Sure.
I was interested in the Queen. Just her blinking was very.
That was cool.
Very cool. I love the Strange New World. Pike is obviously very appealing.
Anyone from the main cast of Discovery? Which I know you don't know.
I didn't. There wasn't.
It's funny that you're not mentioning any of the main characters.
Yeah, I know. I didn't get. Obviously, I didn't know Beardo, Section 31 Beardy guy. I didn't make an impact. Burnham, I was like, yeah, Burnham's good.
A lot of speechifying,
right? Blue Eye, old Blue Eye didn't do a lot, but has an interesting look. I'm sure they're good. Oh, and Doug Jones stands out as an obvious.
Sure. Yeah. Good. Right answer.
Yeah.
Correct. On
old Mac Tonight,
Yeah.
They should have just played Mac Tonight in this.
You got to watch season 3. You really should watch season 3.
He's got a crescent moon for a head.
Yep.
That's great.
I will say this was one of the few Michael intros that I didn't mind. She's not referencing obscure literary stuff. She's not being like, when I look in the mirror, is it me looking back or is it another other me? It's just kind of laying out what's going on in an emotional way, but not overly metaphoric.
Now, It's interesting you say that, Cameron, because during her narration, she talks about not recognizing herself in the mirror, but they show you images of Culber, right?
Right.
So it's thematically tied there, but she does actually use those words.
I think that's where I pulled it from. But I mean, she doesn't get too deep into it. She kind of brushes past that stuff.
It's pretty brief, especially considering that the opening credits don't happen for like 28 minutes or something.
Which I'm only okay with because this is kind of a 2-part episode, but still, they had points they could have put them in the first 5 minutes.
I think I wrote down 14 minutes.
Yeah. So,
which I thought was
time in a
bold.
47-minute episode.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
They could have done it the first time she grabbed the time crystal.
Yeah. My last question is, do you think, had Poe not been in the recap, did they do enough in the episode to explain the deal?
Her deal?
Yeah.
I think they did too much. I think Tilly was dropping too many kind of like obvious inside joke hints. I think if they pulled some of those out, it would have been enough. Like, oh yeah, I knew someone. Really? You know the Queen? Sure, I've got history.
Yeah, I almost feel like that doesn't need an explanation outside of these people are in Starfleet.
That's why I don't like it being in the intro, because don't confuse me. Don't make me think I've missed a whole thing. Like, just present her in a way that makes sense for the story.
I think I mostly agree. Like, I love her character, but I think I agree with that mechanical issue.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that's how Marvel usually does it when they succeed anyway.
Well, and the camera in Marvel will linger so that you know, like, we're nudging you so hard right now. You should know who this is.
But Marvel won't bring in a cameo that it's not in a previous movie.
What?
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
That's what all their
I mean,
that's how
Spider-Man
Nick Fury shows up.
Falcon is in Ant-Man.
Yeah, from a previous movie.
Okay, but in Iron Man...
I'm saying, like, they wouldn't bring in a character you've never heard of as, like, hey, check it. Like, Spider-Man wouldn't say, you know what? I know Galactus, and he hasn't been in a movie before. Like, they always reintroduce
Galactus, but they
did with
comic characters.
Daredevil.
I just mean, like, they wouldn't, I don't know, like, Daredevil wouldn't say, my friend Kite Man, and then wink, wink, camera. I guess what I'm saying is, like, they would bring in, the cameos are always like, I didn't know that Hulk from the other show was going to be here. They wouldn't introduce a brand new character in that way.
Isn't that what they did with Nick Fury?
They do that all the time. Well, I mean, not the big characters, but all the time I'm like, is that a comic character? My comic friends have to be like, yeah, that's kind of a big deal in the comics.
Well, yeah, so like in Guardians of the Galaxy, they showed the other Guardians team with like Stallone and Michelle Yeoh.
Hawkeye,
and all those
Hawkeye
people.
and Thor. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
100%.
here's a person, like, you should know them or you will soon, right? Like, it feels more like, I don't know what the word is for it. Like, tongue in cheek is not correct, but like, it feels like they're referencing something you should already know, but they know you don't.
Right.
Yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the way they introduce this Queen, like, in a way that, I don't know, whatever.
So for you, it wouldn't have worked without the previously on? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't think it's weird that they have a webisode that helps explain what this relationship is.
Sure, I'm fine with the webisode.
I'm fine. I guess I don't know. If I was into the series, I probably would have already watched the shorts, and if I hadn't, I would see that intro and be like, I better stop real quick. I better pause real quick and watch that 10-minute short.
It's interesting that on the one where they had the cage, they said previously on Star Trek and made this big deal, so you know that you're watching this old thing. But here they said previously on Discovery and immediately cut to footage that was not in Discovery.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's, for me, where the dissonance comes from.
Well, luckily, we have the internet.
Also, you do have to ask, at what episode, at what point would it have made sense to put that 10 minutes in?
Right.
So that it was in Discovery. It's like, okay, you're obviously setting this character up for something. Like, yeah. But, well,
okay.
I think we have obviously set ourselves up for the point of the episode where we pick our songs that represent the episode. And this, for me, was kind of a difficult one. So I'm not going to start. I'm going to say, Jesse, you get to start.
Ooh.
Okay, so this was initially difficult for me, partially because I feel like there are bands where I've picked like 4 songs from them for over the course of this and season 5. but looking at the list, that's not actually true. Like, I think I frequently think of multiple songs per band that could fit this, and then I like talk myself into one or the other. But for me, this week, I am going to use a band that I have used before, but it is not a song that I have used before. This week, my choice is a song called We Stand by All That Remains. And it's basically about being ready to do the hard thing, to make the tough decision. It has lyrics like, "Our roots are deeper than this, born and bred, the masters of ourselves and our hearts. Take the best of me, watch my world fall apart. Still, I remain steadfast in my heart. Walk a darkened road, and we will be our own light." Hint, hint, Michael Burnham. "Our foundation, our core is strong. Stand for what's right." And it has everything I love about a metalcore song. It's got wailing guitars. It has the growly, grungy vocals under the clean vocals. It goes 100 miles an hour and doesn't stop, just like Star Trek Discovery Season 2 as a whole.
Okie doke.
Good choice. Yeah.
All right, I'll go next. I'm going the deepest cut, the most ridiculous pick, perhaps, I've made. I don't really even have an artist. I don't really know who sang it or wrote it. It is the opening theme to Lunar, the Silver Star story from the Sega CD version, not the remaster on PlayStation. They changed the opening theme, so it's not that one. It's the original one from the Sega CD. One of the greatest role-playing games of all time that probably just never got its due because it was on Sega CD and no one bought that system except me. And it's just, I love the song. It's got nostalgia value for me 100%, but it just felt like the building up to battle, which is what this whole episode is this whole episode. You're watching it, waiting for this battle to happen next episode. And so it's got lyrics like "Fighting through the darkness, all is evil, still we must press on," which is everything this crew is talking about. Friendship forged in battle. Watch your backs now, take heed. And yeah, it's the friendships, it's the battle, it's knowing that this is coming, and it's kind of saying, all right, look, we're putting everything else aside right now. We're just prepping for this big battle. It feels, it's the energy I want going into the next episode.
I want to play that. Is that game an anime-looking game, Cameron?
It's a classic Japanese role-playing game. It's amazing.
Yes, I am going to play that.
And the first one is pretty short. You can play it in a few hours, but it's so good. The cutscenes are great. Like it's the most tropey story, but it's done so well with such fun characters and dialogue and music.
I got to check this out.
They just released like a remaster that I'm tempted to get. It's like $50, but they've updated all the battle stuff, so I'm like, ooh. Maybe next paycheck.
Yeah.
I'm very interested. I'm going to look it up tonight.
If you play it, I'd love to hear.
John, do you want to do your earnest answer before I do my bullshit joke answer?
Sure, absolutely. Okay. Mine is somewhere between an earnest answer and a bullshit joke answer because, I have established I usually try and pick a character and pick a song for them because it's usually easy on these episodes, but this was actually kind of a good ensemble episode. Everybody got their moments. Everybody got their time. So I tried to figure out, okay, what thing is unique about this episode? And it's like, there's an obvious choice for the song for this episode because the most obvious choice is "Heroes" by David Bowie. One, it fits the sacrifice. It fits what's going on, but also you have to watch a short trek to understand fully why I'm picking "Heroes" by David Bowie. So, yeah, "Heroes" by David Bowie is my selection.
I like that. I almost picked "We Don't Need Another Hero."
Oh, nice.
Would have been one. Or "We're in This Together Now," but you already used that for season 5.
I had "Should I Stay or Should I Go" as one of my choices.
That's good. You could pick Bowie for so many space-themed shows.
We have.
It's kind of I'm not good at this kind of exercise. This is not the way my brain works. So for the last 2 days, I've just had a song stuck in my head. It is "Popcorn" by Hot Buttered. I will play a little bit of it in the before you get DMCA'd, hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. Wait for the drop. And now you have it stuck in your heads. If you want some lyrics, you can always say, "This is the Popcorn song, and I'd like to sing along." Those aren't the real lyrics. That's just something you can do.
But you don't like Ooby Dooby?
I don't like bad lyrics. Ooby Dooby's bad. This is from our other podcast for those of you listening. I didn't like Ooby Dooby from that one Star Trek movie because those lyrics are stupid. But this is just weird sounding. Boop, 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 boop. It's an interesting sound.
Yeah.
It's a signature sound.
Rob, that would get stuck in my head because it is very chiptune-y.
Yes.
But I actually picked my song for next week like 3 days ago. And it has been stuck in my head. Like, I'm talking, put this song on repeat, listen to it 40 times in a day, because it is so absolutely perfect for next week's episode, and I cannot wait to share it. And it's not chiptune-y, it's a little heavier than that, but now I kind of want to listen to the Popcorn song by Hot Buttered.
Yeah.
Open Gangnam Style. Is that your pick for next week?
Damn
Okay,
it, you
cool.
spoiled the whole thing, Cameron.
That's how I felt when I picked The Look, Jesse.
Popcorn's been
5
recorded. There's so many recorded versions of the song Popcorn. If you go on the Wikipedia,
Wow.
I don't know the number, but there are numerous remakes and throughout the years. So
Yeah,
just
Sinatra did it too, right?
Originally Gilbert and Sullivan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Actually, Roy Orbison.
Yeah.
interestingly enough.
Oh no.
Ooby dooby dooby
Doo. Yeah, I'd be okay with it. Yeah. Actually, a mashup might actually make Ooby Dooby work for me.
Someone please make that happen. We will record Rob listening to it.
I'll probably enjoy it.
Well, Rob,
Hey, we did
thank you for guesting with us tonight. Yeah, what do you have to plug?
Let's see. You can always go to my screen printing. I screen print for a living. You can always check out shirtnerdery.com. I need to update it. Need new products up there. But if you find yourself in the Pacific Northwest, you can always stop by my retail store, Made in Milwaukee, where I have my T-shirts and hundreds of weird tchotchkes and ephemera from local artists. Green Shirt Podcast is still kind of going on. We just wrapped up the movies. You guys plugged that plenty, I'm sure. But that's where you can find me.
I was waiting to hear how you played Green Shirt when you guest on other shows.
Oh, well, I figure it's a given on this one.
You were in the news recently about your store.
Yeah, that's right. It was a perfectly cringe, like they quoted me.
They used you for the headline.
Yes, the city, the suburb of Milwaukee, Oregon. It's Milwaukee with an IE, not the EE like those other suckers. Is kind of it's growing quite a bit. We have a brand new brewery from Hood River called Freem that just opened up, and some of the cool spots, like we have a cool new record store. So things are starting to hop down there. So the news came down during our first Friday art event that I was live screen printing at, and the news picked me to interview, and my soundbite. A perfect example of news cringe is me saying, like, people usually say Milwaukee who, but really, pretty soon they're going to start saying Milwaukee's cool. It's so laughably news.
Well, I loved like classic Rob humor when you were like, "Yeah, I don't know if you know, Portland's just right down the road there. You can get there just down this road." And I was like, one person at the news station like cracked up at that and insisted they keep it in.
Yeah. I said Milwaukee's like Portland's, little baby brother. We're kind of overlooked a lot, but Portland's right there. And you could almost see the sign.
Because you're just pointing off screen, like they don't have a shot of Portland or anything.
I believe it was originally pronounced Milwaukee.
That's right. I've done that shirt. Milwaukee means good land.
I just rewatched that the other day.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Was you showing
man.
the kid
Yes.
for the first time.
Yes.
How'd it go?
And it was excellent.
Yeah.
So many times, like, that's what that's from? That's what that's from? Like,
Nice.
And I'm sitting here realizing, like, my God, we have quoted that movie for almost 40 years now. Like, that movie really captured the zeitgeist.
I heard a podcast, The Rewatchables from the Ringer Network, where they argued that might be the single most quotable movie ever.
Because So I Married an Axe Murderer was on like Tubi, and I was like, is this where Squeeze Me Baking Powder comes from? Like, nope, that is Wayne's World. Yeah. Anyway,
Yes, Green Shirt is still going on a little bit. In fact, our next episode will be a bit of an open pike nighty thing. We are interviewing Tracy Coco, Ensign J herself, and we want to hear some calls. So if you're a caller to Open Pike Night, call in. You can do it the same way. Just say you're leaving a message or a question for Tracy Coco, and you can send it to Open Pike Night. I'll find it there, and we'll play them for her. So please do that. Yeah, we're looking forward to talking to her.
And, Jesse, we had some great callers tonight. How can our listeners get on Open Pike Night?
Or Green Shirt.
Or Green Shirt.
I guess I'll allow the Green Shirt thing. The easiest way to get on Open Pike Night is to just go to openpike.com. You can record your message right there. All you need is a phone. You can send us a voice memo. But, of course, if you want to have a little higher quality and you happen to have access to a microphone, go ahead and record an MP3 and send it to us at openpike@gmail.com. Great way to stay abreast of all of the upcoming guests is to join the Open Pike Night Discord server, or you can follow us, hang out, exchange memes on Blue Sky at Open Pike.
All right. Well, it has been a long night. It has been a long season. It has been a long break between seasons of Strange New Worlds, but we are almost there for season 2. So, Open Pike Night crew, we got to go probably slap some fresh paint around, replace some broken light bulbs. It's been a couple of years, but we're about ready to wrap up our season of Disco Inferno. So be sure to clean it up after yourselves. Be sure to tip your servers. You can go anywhere you want, but you can't stay here.
Is it true that after the next episode, you're taking a 3,000-year break before you record?
1,000 years.
No, that's Green Shirt.
It's a 1,000 years. I could not remember how many years in the future they go. But
I was about to make a fart sound effect, so thank you for making the better joke.